Hello, and welcome to InvertiCast. I, of course, am Leah from Tarantula, and with me, as always, is Simon from the Mantis
Hello.
Garden. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Leah.
And it's so good to have you.
Oh, make me feel wanted.
Well, you are. You're very wanted here.
Thank you.
Um, and today, excuse me. Today we are going to be talking about Orthoptera or Orthoptera, which translates directly to straight wings. But this classification or order of insects includes grasshoppers, locusts, crickets, katydids, and cicadas. And I'm pretty sure there's a few others, but those are the main guys that I found through my research. So, yeah. Hello, everyone watching. Welcome. So glad to have you guys here. So, all right. sorry. Sorry, I'm kind of hyper, so I'm all excited and okay. So basically, about this classification of insects, all of them produce noise. So all of them either chirp or they have songs that they sing. They're usually large to medium size, but that we all know that they can be also very very small because we get very small crickets for our inverts that eat them. Um, and their habitats they occur mostly in like terrestrial habitats, but a few are semi-aquatic. So meaning that they spend a lot of their time in the water. I didn't happen to find anything on a semi-aquatic uh, species of any of these, but that's okay. Maybe we can dive deeper later and find those.
Was that a
And
joke?
then, sorry,
Was that a joke? Dive deeper, Leah.
you caught me. Uh, yeah, a little bit. So, the nymphs or the babies of these guys, they resemble adults, but they don't have wings. So once they get to that adult stage, that's when they get their wings. And their front legs are where they have tibial auditory organs. So their ears are actually on their front legs, that's kind of trippy. I thought that was weird. Can you imagine being able to hear with your front legs?
I can't imagine being able to hear. I can only hear with one of them anyway.
Right? You're like, oh, excuse me, can you talk into my arm? Okay. And then their back legs are saltatorial, which means that they're basically modified for jumping and leaping. So these are all jumping critters, like grasshoppers, locusts, they all jump. Same with crickets. And there are 25,000 described species in this class. And they are also divided into two suborders, one of them being the Califera, which would be the grasshoppers, locusts, and mole crickets. And the other classification would be the Encephera, which is the true crickets, katydids, and bush crickets. So I believe bush crickets is just another word for cicadas.
No.
I could be wrong, but I think I read that.
It's not. It's not. We actually have bush crickets here.
Oh, okay.
We have not many. There's only like a little place that still has them. They're actually going extinct in the UK. But yeah, we do have bush crickets. And then they're not cicada. I did know the scientific name, but I can't remember it.
Huh. That's fascinating. I mean, they're all related. So I mean, they're like a lot of the time uh, when you hear locust, they're actually talking about a very large grasshopper. So that I mean, they're all kind of in the same like species. Like they're in the same order, obviously in classification. It's just that they're just different enough, if you will. So I found some pretty good information on katydids, and if you don't know what a katydid is, They are an insect that look like a little leaf. So they literally look like a walking leaf. They've got the head like a grasshopper, so they've got kind of that round, kind of pointed head. Their eyes are pretty small. They've got those antenna. They have they actually have some pretty large antenna, and then the rest of their body is essentially a leaf. And so yeah, they just look like a leaf with legs. And there are 6,000 species of them, and they are mostly nocturnal. And they produce a song that's repetitive, and each species of katydid has its own song. And they occur pretty much in every region of the world except for Antarctica. They can be found like living in trees, bushes, grass, and they live for less than a year. The eggs are the only life stage, or their larval stage is the only stage that they can actually survive winter through. And most of them eat leaf matter, although there are some katydids that are predators, or predatory. So they eat like other insects, and yeah, that's pretty much what I found on katydids, unfortunately. But I love them. I think katydids are really cute. Like, I don't know. Anytime I see a katydid, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's good luck. Yay.
I've never seen one in the UK.
Really?
I think we have one or two species here,
Okay.
and only down south. And yeah, never seen one. Never seen one of ours. So
Oh, wow.
very, very few. We very rarely see crickets or grasshoppers up here. We don't see
Really?
those either.
Man, I thought they would be pretty prevalent in the UK because you guys have, I mean, it's pretty lush there, yeah? I mean, there's a lot of foliage and
It's always wet and damp, and it's never really that warm,
uh,
especially up in the northern side of things. We tend not to. Well, we don't get them around where I am.
uh,
I know down south they're a bit more prevalent, but here not so much. You see them in summer. If you go on a summer walk, you'll see them. The grasshoppers and the crickets. I've never bothered catching any to find out.
mhm.
They'll jump when you walk near them, but they're not what you would expect. There's not millions of them.
Okay.
There is in this
Yeah.
box, though. You can probably hear them.
Yeah, I can hear your crickets. You said you had a big old colony of them, yeah?
Yeah, I do. I breed black crickets for the nymphs.
Oh, that's awesome.
These guys will never get eaten. These are all adults. They'll never get eaten. They're here just to make a racket and to lay eggs. That's all I have them for. Babies that get eaten, sadly for them. They're perfect size for tiny mantis nymphs.
For
So,
tiny mantis. Nice.
yeah, they're a constant supply of eggs
Oh yeah, I bet.
because
Eden.
you just keep changing the substrate in a tub. You put a new tub in. A couple of days, they've filled the tub with eggs. So you just take that out and put a new one in.
Oh wow.
And every 5-10 days, you've got new baby nymphs.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's a cheap way of feeding them.
Right. You don't have to spend so much money on the post and stuff to get your crickets.
Yeah,
But
just get the adults and start from there, and take some out. And,
right.
which I have in boxes behind me here. It's
Yeah.
like kid size, and I grow a few of them on, and then constant cycle, if you like.
Yeah, perfect. Eden Invert says that wild hoppers are everywhere down here. Haha.
Yeah.
And I don't know where down here is. Where
Who was that?
Eden Inverts?
Oh yeah. Well, again, down south. He's in Kent, I think. Actually, yeah, Kent.
Okay.
Somewhere like that. Kent, Surrey, somewhere like that. Which is down below London. So
okay, yeah.
Again, it's surprisingly a really big difference in temperature down there normally.
Oh, I'm not surprised because here, he says, Eden says I'm south of Edenbridge, Kent. Okay, cool. So you were right. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not surprised that there's temperature variations in the regions of the UK because, yeah, I mean, here in Colorado, like, here you might be in Denver and it might be like 50 degrees or, and it feels kind of cold. But if you just travel about 3 hours south to Pueblo, you're gonna find that it's, 5 degrees warmer. Same within the summertime. If the summertime it's too hot down in the city, all you have to do is go about an hour and a half up into the mountains to like Georgetown, and it's at least 20 degrees cooler. So, yeah, it definitely, regions definitely vary quite a bit. So,
Well, we get that like on the south coast, right on the south coast, there is wild stick insects. We've got 3 species in the UK. Down near Devon, Cornwall, that sort of area, they wouldn't last up here. That 5 to 7 degrees makes such a difference, and the length of summer makes such a difference.
Wow.
Because with it only living, like, let's be honest, they live about 9 months. So your Katydids, your grasshoppers, and everything else, you've got 9 months. If you don't get that warm weather for that period of time, it can't reproduce, it can't survive. That's why we don't have mantis. It's a simple reason. They don't have time to grow to adults and reproduce, to lay their eggs, etc. And that goes for a lot of bugs. So down south have so many more bugs than we have up here. We're what, 200 miles away? But 200 miles north is a big difference when you're
I can imagine.
When you're this close to like the north,
right.
It makes a massive difference. So a lot of things like you talk about stuff like the Katydids, cicadas, and like cicadas. Yeah, never seen one. Only seen them abroad. Crickets, bush crickets. I think bush crickets live in one county in England.
Okay.
They're going that extinct. They only live in one place.
Wow.
So it's really. It's just one of them places in England. It's well, the UK as a whole.
Yeah.
Scotland has got hardly anything book related towards, down in Cornwall or Devon or somewhere like that, which is way down south.
Bazan says that of course he'll put one in Simon's care package for you. So you're going to get yourself a Katydid.
Bass lives in Devon, the place I've just been talking about. He lives in Devon, which is really, really on the south coast. He's got it's luxury down there. To me, if I was there now, it'd be summer. I would think it was summer. So
okay,
it's crazy because we walk around. Like we 10 degrees. It's t-shirt. You can wear a t-shirt outside for us.
Yeah.
Throw shivering at 10 degrees. But for us, it's normal. It's it's fine.
It's like a normal day, yeah.
Unfortunately, the bugs don't adapt quite as well as we do to that massive temperature change.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, no, it's weird because even here, like at the higher altitudes and stuff, there are almost no bugs, no insects whatsoever. Once you get past that tree line, there's a tree line at about, I believe it's 13,000, 14,000. No, it's definitely like 12 to 13,000 feet. The trees stop growing, and then it's all just mountain. It's all just rocks, and there are no insects up there. None. So let's talk about locusts. Locusts are Acrididae, which is cool, but they usually will increase greatly in numbers, and then they migrate for long distances. But they are very destructive to like leaf matter and whatnot because that's what they eat. So they tend to have a pretty negative effect on like farming areas and agricultural businesses. But smaller species are called grasshoppers. So grasshoppers are a type of locust. The theory of two phases in which they live. So they have one solitary life phase in which they pretty much just, they live, they eat, they mate, they die. But the other is a gregarious life phase where they can be distinguished by the coloration, their form, physiology, and behavior. During the gregarious phase, they respond to, it's a response essentially to the violent fluctuation in the environment. Where did you go? Okay. No, so it's actually a response to a violent change in their environment. And so basically these massive swarms will form in marginal regions where the suitable habitats are scarce. And then they will swarm and become like these massive just swarms. And they won't stop flying or swarming essentially until their environment changes with like rain or decreased temperatures, darkness, these sort of things. Um, and there was actually in 1869, I found this very fascinating. There was a huge swarm of desert locusts that reached all the way to the UK from like West Africa. So they went all the way from West Africa to the UK where you are
Yeah.
in a massive swarm because, yeah. So, and that's pretty recent. That was about 150 or so years ago. So just a huge swarm that got all the way to the UK. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I just know now they're sending wives from West Africa to the UK.
Oh wow! Is that how you felt, Lily?
I was just going to show you this actually, which I don't think you get to see, but
oh, cool!
That's horsehead grasshopper.
Oh wow!
Which unfortunately, you can't see. I was hoping you could, but it's not big enough. But that's another Orthoptera, which is one that normally gets overlooked because it looks nothing like a traditional grasshopper.
Yeah, right. I mean, traditionally grasshoppers they're green. They're about an inch and a half or so long. They've got kind of a round body that's pointed at the end, and then of course they're really big hind legs for that leaping. What a beautiful grasshopper though. That's amazing. It looks like a little stick.
Yeah, they do look like stick insects. They actually get like this big.
Oh wow.
Wow. They're quite big. And they can jump really, really well.
Oh, that's incredible.
But I just realized, I thought, I've got no Orthoptera apart from oh yes, I've got this.
Heck yeah.
Also grasshoppers.
Shady Thing says, I love that silly grasshopper thing. Thanks, Shady. I love it too. I've never seen one.
Yeah, they are a fantastically weird looking face.
They're beautiful.
Yes, they're an amazing creature. A friend of mine sent me some of these. Sadly, some got out of the enclosure, and it was tiny when he sent them, and I can only imagine where they've gone. So, Mantis belly, I should imagine. It's sad, but this guy's managed to make it this far, so I'm hoping to get an adult. It's a shame he wasn't an adult because when you really see how big they are, they do get quite a massive sort of thing for a grasshopper. But when you look at that, you wouldn't say, "Oh yes, that's a grasshopper."
Right? No, I wouldn't think that at all, actually.
Because it looks like a stick insect.
Yeah, it does.
It's definitely got a phasmid look about it, but it is a grasshopper. So yeah. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, don't be. That was wonderful. I appreciate that you have a living example of a really cool species of grasshopper. I think that's amazing.
You was talking about locusts invading England, which I don't remember it because
Well, you weren't there. I hope.
I'm not quite that old yet. Um,
Are
but
you
no,
sure?
I didn't know anything about that. And I should imagine they wouldn't have gone past the south anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know it
So
did mention UK. It did mention London. So
yeah,
I'm thinking that that's probably where they got to. I don't know.
all down south. It's always down south. We never get the good stuff. To me, that would be free food. I've been out there with the nets collecting them.
Yeah.
That's marvelous for me.
Well, and when I was growing up here, we had, we had grasshoppers, crickets, locusts, the whole nine. So, and it's still true now. Like I walk through my front yard now, and especially in like spring and summer, there's plenty of grasshoppers. They will jump, you know. So, it's kind of nice to have that. And of course, like I said, we get katydids and cicadas. A lot of the time, I think at least once a year I will see a katydid. It'll just come and hang out, and or I'll see it. I think they like the walls of my house because they're white, so that bright color is like tend to attract them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just lucky like that.
well, probably going to get some katydids. It's a shame we did this now because I was thinking about getting some anyway.
No,
Have you seen the giant ones?
yeah, they're amazing. We don't get them that big here.
Yeah, absolutely enormous. I think they're Peruvian, are they?
I believe so. Yeah, because the Amazon. I mean, everything is bigger than the Amazon for sure. Like they're just everything is huge there.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of them we don't know about, but
Yeah, yeah.
then those katydids now are doing their rounds in the UK at the moment in the book scene,
Oh wow.
whereas people are all getting katydids. So or Katydids. I've never known which one it is.
Yeah, I don't either. It's spelled like it should be pronounced Kattydid.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Mhm.
But a lot of people call it katydids, so I'm
I
confused.
I think it's an American thing. I don't.
No, I would call them katydids. I would call them katydids, but I just hear it a lot, katydids. So
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. To be honest, I'll have to look it up and see if it's Latin or Greek, and then we can figure out whether it's Katie or Catty.
Yeah, we'll have to do that for sure. And let me know later on. And then we can correct ourselves from here on out.
One of the things you did do, which surprised me because I was waiting for you to slip up,
Oh,
is say Orthoptera correctly.
Orthoptera, yeah.
Because most people say Orthoptera. And I thought, she's got to say Orthoptera. She's definitely got to say Orthoptera. A, she's American, and B, it's just a weird word. And that's all I thought, yeah, you're gonna say it incorrectly. Like everybody else says it incorrectly. And I was like, it's Orthoptera because you've got it right. Ortho, Greek for straight, Terra, that's for wings. So it's like, yeah.
I surprised you, huh?
You absolutely, in fact, you napped me because then I was in a position where I had nothing to complain about. So,
Did you hear that, guys? He didn't have
all these people was pronouncing things wrong, like Orthoptera and Katydids. That's another one that does it. When people pronounce the P in terror.
Yeah. Right. No, but it's like pterodactyl, the P is silent.
Yeah. I wish mine was at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was in high school, I actually took Latin, which, I mean, as you know, is a dead language. Nobody speaks it anymore. But a lot of like medical terms and whatnot use Latin because it's pretty much the root words for anything and everything in the medical world, right? And I actually took it for, I believe, 4 years. No, I took it for 3 years. And I used to laugh at myself, like, oh man, I don't know why I'm even taking this class. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, all this stuff. And here I am now, learning all this about arthropods and invertebrates. And I'm like, oh man, that Latin really paid off.
As I said, we started learning Latin and Greek for some
Oh,
reason at school when I was 5 or 6.
oh
And
wow. Go ahead.
it was just one of them, it was that sort of time and that sort of school where they would insist that you learn where English words came from, because a lot of English words are Latin. They're
Oh yeah.
based in Latin. So they insisted on, like, if we got taught a new word, they'd tell us the Latin where it came from, or the Greek, which helps so much now.
Yeah.
With pronunciations, etc., for a lot of the books.
Yeah, me too.
I was sort of saying, I thought, what a waste of absolute time. And it really wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Because not only that, you can spot when somebody's using a word incorrectly, even if you've never heard the word, as long as you know where it's come from, because you can generally figure out where it's come from by
you can just pick it right up. Yeah.
by the sound of it,
I also like to give credit to that Latin class for my ability to be able to, like, hear a different language and kind of have a general idea as to what is being said. I know that sounds strange, but
no, doesn't.
I hear Lily, and I know she's the linguist over here, so.
I did the same. I didn't used to be able to do it, but now I can actually watch a Spanish film. I know what's going on. I can put together the words just because of Latin. So it really makes a massive difference. Learning Latin is a really big step to knowing a lot of other languages, because a lot of languages are based on Latin.
Absolutely. It's just so deeply ingrained in a lot of languages. I mean, I know it's definitely deeply ingrained in English, a little bit of Spanish, some French, and they're all kind of interconnected anyway, so it's kind of, it's pretty wild.
It is. I think we went off topic.
Just a little, but I feel that the language is actually pretty important for invertebrates, so maybe that's a topic for another day.
I think that is a fantastic idea. And I know a few people who would like that very much.
Yeah, maybe we should do a vote. So
yeah, I think do a poll on community.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that there's quite a few people out there who trip up on saying the Latin, or they feel silly saying the Latin because they're going to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
Because I found that most people don't know where the syllables are in Latin.
Right.
Because they're not obvious. Like, you see a normal English word and we see the syllables, we go, oh, yeah. And we can learn how to say it. Whereas in Latin, you look at it, it's just a jumble of letters.
Right.
Once you can identify, like, sections of it, you can actually say it correctly, like ortho and terra. Once you know those two, when you can take them apart and say them separately, you just put them together and say them. And that's it's done. So yeah, I think we should do that. So I'm going to shut up now about Latin and Greek. Well, that's Greek. And then we'll go.
And Eden Invert says, I'm currently trying to learn my Latin. So hey, there you go. Like, you're among friends. We a mo, a mas, a mat. That is all the Latin I know, and it's all the Latin I want. That was, my Latin teacher was amazing, and I learned quite a bit. But now I mean, I can't speak it, but I, like, the basic stuff is still in there. And like you said, it really, really does help to be able to understand, like, the Latin words and, like, the scientific terms for a lot of things. So All right, let's get back on topic. We're going to talk about cicadas now, because I found all kinds of really cool actual like folklore about cicadas. And so cicadas are interesting because the males produce the loud noises that you hear by vibrating the membranes, called tymbals, and they're near the base of their abdomen. Females will lay eggs in the woody plant tissues, and then they will drop from like the plant or whatever when the eggs hatch, and then nymphs will burrow and suck juices from the roots of perennial plants. There are over 3,000 species known of cicadas, and they actually are a subclassification known as Cicadidae. Cicadidae, maybe. There it is. There it is. Okay. They occur in deserts, grasslands, forests. They appear pretty much yearly with a periodic, or I'm sorry, but they also will appear like periodic. And then there's also the best known cicada for this, which is the 17-year cicada, Maga cicada, and they have been used in folk medicines, religious symbols, and monetary symbols. So, uh, once upon a time, they used cicadas' songs or the sounds that they made in forecasting the weather. So, it's pretty fascinating, and this is where we get into the folklore of cicadas. But first, we can talk a little bit about cicadas and kind of their song and like all about that. And yeah, what do you think of cicadas? Do you like them? Do you like their song? Because I know for me, it's hard for me to like go to sleep anywhere where there aren't crickets or cicadas or some kind of repetitive noise. Um, and that's just because growing up here in Colorado, we had plenty of them. Like they just the noise, right? Uh, so if I go somewhere where there isn't that noise, it's really hard for me to sleep. Do you find that? Yeah.
I've got these guys who serenade me every night,
Oh,
so
wonderful.
not too bad. And repetitive noise. I'm married, so I'm in trouble now. She's just giving me a dirty look. But there you
She's
go.
watching. I mean, yeah, I'm betting she gave you a dirty look on that one.
She's giving me a dirty look. So anyway, but yeah, I love the sound of the crickets. I absolutely love it, and it helps me sleep.
Yeah.
Uh, it did. I in India, I used to love that because it was a complete different sound of what we get here.
Yeah.
It was so relaxing and calming. Cicadas. All I've heard of cicadas is buzzing because they, as I say, I told you before the podcast. The first time I came across cicadas was in Greece, and it was just hitting my patio windows because the lights was on and it was night time. I was having a drink outside. It was just like, I don't know. I didn't have an opinion on it. I was quite afraid of it at first because
They are really intimidating.
the first time I'd seen one, and it's there on the floor, and there's loads of them. They're buzzing and making all sorts of noise. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
do I pick one up? Can it bite me? It was, plus the fact may have had one or two, so it didn't really help with my IDing them.
Sure.
Yeah, I could do without cicadas, but
I I really liked cicadas because I actually spent a couple of years in Okinawa. So the cicadas there are incredibly loud. They are everywhere. And the ones there, I believe, spend 7 years underground in their, nymph stage. So they grow while they're underground, and then when they emerge, they only live for about a month or two. And that's when they do their mating and whatnot, and then they lay their eggs and so on and so forth. But the noise from them was just constant, and they were massive. I mean, they were about the size of like golf balls. And it's weird because I didn't know that they were classified in with like crickets and grasshoppers. I thought they were a type of beetle. Um, But no, I was so wrong about that. And and they're quite beautiful actually. If you've ever seen one, they're good size, and I think they are kind of territorial. And so in Okinawa, they would dive bomb us, and we had this little paddy wagon that we had to drive around and patrol in an area. And I can remember people crashing that little paddy wagon like so many times because a cicada flew into the window and bonked him in the head or whatever. And they are really intimidating, if not just for that noise, but that size. And so they're just a really intimidating creature. But it's really fascinating that they burrow, and then they only live for like a month or so, and that's when they're the noisiest. So it's just wild. Can you imagine? That's your life, like 7 years underground, and then one day you emerge, and you're like an old man, ready to die.
Oh, that felt like yeah, felt like we're in bed last night. Yeah, yeah, it really did.
Oh
No,
man,
I find it fascinating, and so a lot of the insects world is just amazing.
it's wild.
Like the dragonfly, for instance, the larva can spend
Mhm.
several years in the water,
Right.
and then turns into a dragonfly. 5 minutes later, it's brown bread, dead. So it's amazing. They must know, mustn't they? They must know that once
Yeah.
they come out of there, it's game over. That it's like I've got to find something to mate with, and then that's it. It's over.
Right. I mean, their instincts must be really, really strong. Just really, really strong. I mean, it's fascinating. So, with that being said, that's a really great segue for folklore. So that instinct or that ancient wisdom, right? Um, so in the folklore, cicadas have been known to kind of epitomize reincarnation. So about 40 million years is the earliest form. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what 40 million years was, but maybe that's like their oldest. Maybe that's the oldest like record of them in the fossil. I don't know.
It's the oldest identifiable fossil of a cicada, I think.
Yeah. So
If I remember rightly.
I'm thinking that's what I wrote down, and I apologize. But
What's the plot? God, carry on.
no worries. So the earliest form was in China, and they would actually make stone carvings out of jade of cicadas. And they believed that because the cicadas had that like kind of that reincarnating, or that they epitomized eternal life essentially, or rebirth. They would place the jade cicada on the tongue of a deceased person, um, and that actually would allow for them, that the deceased would emerge and achieve their permanent immortality. So they imagined that the cicada helped them cross into that immortality. Um, got I found another really beautiful story from the Hopi indigenous people here in the States.
The Indians, yeah.
Um,
Oh, the Indians.
yeah, the Hopi, yeah. So they actually, in the northern Arizona, their mythology indicates that they emerged from the Grand Canyon, right? And some sources say that they were led by two cicadas that played flutes, which kind of makes sense because they do make that noise, right? Um, but they basically, the cicadas would heal their bodies as they emerged from the Grand Canyon, because the entrance to the fourth world was guarded by eagles that shot arrows at them. So the cicadas singing with their flutes would heal their bodies. So that's another really fascinating, like, kind of legend or folklore. I feel
I
like you
don't know
know this.
why.
What's up?
I don't know why, but I
uh,
actually knew that one.
oh, cool.
I have
Okay.
no idea why. No, not a clue. But I actually knew that story. I I think I've heard that in a movie somewhere.
It's
That's
possible. It's possible because the Hopi tribe is a really popular tribe because there's not a ton known about them. So the more we learn about them, the more it kind of spreads out and people get really excited about it. So that doesn't surprise me.
Or a documentary.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
I watch a lot of those.
Oh, I love them. I love them.
So there's a
I
good
live
chance.
in.
There is a good chance I've heard it there, but I actually knew that story pretty much word for word with what you were saying. It, I was like, oh god, yeah.
You're
But,
like click, click, click.
yeah, I know nothing of the folklore. I know that the Chinese quite liked them, but I didn't know why. But that one, yeah, I knew, so I was quite pleased about that. Yeah.
Well,
If you know any
cool.
more, please tell me.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that made you happy. I also found a really cool, actually a story about Eos, from ancient Greek, and Eos is the goddess of the dawn. And she had a lover named Titanus. Titanus. It's spelled Tithonus, but it's Titanus. Um, and he lived in Troy, and he was human, but she loved him. This was her dude, you know. And Eos asked Zeus to grant Titanus immortality. But she forgot to ask Zeus for his eternal youth as well. So essentially, she doomed Titanus to remain alive, but to grow old, that like so old that he sank into a toothless decrepitude. And eventually he was praying for death. Oh, quit, Simon, you are not.
Close.
So Eos understood that the gods never retracted their gifts once they gave a gift, they never took it back. But not knowing what else to do, she locked Titanus away and turned him into an ever complaining cicada. And that's pretty much the end of the story. I don't know if there's like a moral or something that we can learn from it, but I've I thought that one was pretty fascinating.
I think it's ever complaining is the noise, isn't it?
The noise, yeah,
Yeah, just
the
the way
rain,
the noise,
yeah, yeah,
where,
yeah.
where the noise comes from. It's just
It's Titanus,
just complaining.
yeah, about growing so old. I don't
I don't
know.
blame it. That's why I moan a lot. It's just devastating.
I know, growing old is such a pain. But yeah, that's pretty interesting that cicadas are related to immortal life and rebirth and that kind of thing. But it also really makes sense because exactly how they behave, you know, like spending years and years underground and then emerging in their adult form. Like it just makes total sense that people would see them as rebirth.
This is very similar to hedgehog mythology,
Ooh,
where, as you just said, they spend the time underground, come out, and it's reincarnation, etc. When there's an ancient Egyptian mythology about hedgehogs,
okay.
where when they hibernate, they saw the hedgehogs as being reincarnated because they'd vanished for months at a time and then just all reappeared at the same time. So it's a similar thing. It was that was their idea of reincarnation. They said, oh, they've got this sus, they're reincarnated.
Wow.
That was their proof for it existing, being a thing. So
Wow.
cicadas going underground for as long as they do is a real, you know, it must have been amazing when back in the day when you didn't know what was going on.
Right.
You know?
Just all these large, singing bugs emerging from the ground. I mean, that must have been quite a sight.
All at the
I
same
can
time.
I can imagine. Yeah.
We've not
Right.
seen it for years, it's under here. What's going on?
Well, that and the yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's just incredible. I agree. But locusts also, like the swarming that they do. I mean, it's been happening for hundreds of thousands, probably even, millions of years, as long as they've been here on Earth. But it's well documented in human history that the swarms of locusts will, affect us. And that hive mind essentially is kind of fascinating to us as well. Like that's one of the reasons that we're studying ants as to their neurons and that synopsis that they go through, because we're trying to figure out, how does the hive mind happen? How does this, how do they just know what to do, when to do it? And, same with bees. Like, once they get in the hive, how do they know that they need more pollen to feed the larvae? How do they know that, so we're definitely researching that. And I think that is quite a fascinating thing about insects, that hive mind, essentially, that they just, there must be something that
You don't know
can
what
be.
it's doing. That's the scary part. There's when they go out and do something, it's not two of them doing the same thing, going, "Oh, you're here." No, it's my job. They all know. Shut up. What job? What job? That otherwise, sometimes just start singing and then they'll go quiet for 10 minutes. But yeah, they all seem to know what they're doing now. They're all doing different things. We see them just at the bee doing bee stuff.
Right.
But each bee is doing different bee stuff. It's doing certain things. You've got certain jobs. And probably more so as far as more jobs are concerned.
Yeah.
Loads and loads of little things you've got to do. And they've got casts and, workers and majors and medias and all the rest of it. So ants are quite fascinating in that respect.
Absolutely.
Like I say, we have no idea what's going on. We don't know how they know or why they know. Let's be honest, we don't even know why birds can fly in formation and then suddenly change.
Right.
That's pretty, and so can locusts. Locusts do the same thing. They just like go, all right, we're left now, which is right, by the way. I just did left. I changed my camera, it doesn't matter, forget that. But yeah, we go right now, and then they all go right and go like, food's over here. And
right.
It's like that. One turns, and they all do. It's like, but there's no specific leader of the pack. Whereas like your wolves, you've got a pack with mammals,
right,
and you've got one clear leader,
right,
makes the decisions that is the alpha. Whereas with insects, etc., there's no alpha.
There's no alpha. They're all just
and the tiny little neural ganglia that they've got as a brain.
Mm-hmm.
It must, how they get so much information in there and know what to do and when to do it is amazing.
It really is. I agree. It's pretty fascinating. I mean, even just being able to observe it, in your everyday life and stuff, it's really something to admire. And
it would be nice if researchers bothered looking at things like that instead of 100 different ways how to kill them.
Yeah, right.
Because they might put them off.
Yeah.
With a noise or with something, and they can go another direction, whatever. But no, we'll kill them because that's our answer to everything.
Unfortunately, and like they serve a purpose. They absolutely serve a purpose. Every single invertebrate, every single insect that you find in the world, it has a purpose. Even the mosquitoes, which I still would like to know what on earth their purpose is, but they serve one. Certainly.
It's to keep the humans down.
Is that what it is? Just to spread the malaria?
Yes. It's to keep the humans down.
Well, shucks.
We're the problem.
Well, that we know.
Yeah. I'm all for mosquitoes. Keep them going. We need some more. That's great. We don't have them, so it's great.
I'm actually really lucky because I like to think that it's my blood type, but I don't get bit as much as other people do by mosquitoes and stuff. So lucky. Oh, yep. See, Eden Inverts agrees with you that mosquitoes' purpose is to annoy the humans. So
it's to kill them. To keep the human population in check. But everything has something to keep it in check.
Yeah.
If you take away a predator, it will just go wild. It will go mad and explode the population. And that's basically that is what we've done. And that's why humans are growing as fast as we are. Because we've taken away our predators, our problems, and on top of that, we've added medicine and all the other things that keep us alive even longer.
Right.
Food, we've got nothing to kill us off and keep us in check.
Yeah,
so
no.
eventually we'll kill everything else off.
Well, I don't know though, because I mean, I've been seeing these videos of people and tourists that go to like Yellowstone, and they're getting mauled by the bison out there and the buffalo because they're just getting too close to these massive creatures, and they think, oh, they're just so big and woolly and they can't hurt me or whatever. They get close enough, and that thing is like, I've got horns and I know how to use them.
Well, bison are the biggest killer, aren't they, in Africa?
Yeah,
they kill more people in Africa than anything else. And you've got crocodiles, you've got
sure.
Tigers, but they're not there, lions and stuff, and yet cows kill more people.
The wildebeests.
So yeah, well, basically they're just cows, aren't they?
And I've also been told that hippopotamus, they have the strongest bite force of any creature. Is it any creature on Earth? I don't know if that's.
No, it's not. I think it's mammal, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, because crocodiles.
Oh, it's jaguar.
I'm trying to think what has a stronger bite force than a.
I'm pretty sure jaguars have a major bite force. Like their bite force is.
Yeah, jaguars are one of them. They have a massive bite force.
But hippos are killing more people than sharks do every year. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
It's not because they're biting them; it's because they're flattening them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with rhinos. Rhinos don't bite, but they still kill people. They're just.
Well, yeah. I mean, they don't.
People.
This huge. How much do they weigh? At least a ton. This huge animal coming at you at like 30 miles an hour. I mean, that's like a car crash. That's like a semi crash. No, thank you.
Don't weigh a ton, do they? So you've got something, probably weighing twice as much as a car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah. We didn't just go on a tangent, did we? Again?
Yes, all the fun ways that animals can kill people. Let's just do that.
That one as well. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, no. Let's. That's pretty much all I've got. About the Orthoptera. Again, really, really, really cool Orthoptera. What did I say it wrong again?
No, I said it right. That's what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, that was fun. That was fun.
Orthoptera.
Orthoptera, yeah. But yeah, so let's close this out. Maybe next. Oh, that would be an awesome show, is what Eden Invert says. And okay, well then, hey, that's another topic that I'm writing down. We're gonna schedule it out.
Okay, I have no idea what it's put because I can't see the screen.
Oh, okay.
And it's not because of these, it's because it's all the way over there.
Right, you'd have to look. But yeah, no, Eden Invert says that would be a fun and awesome show. And I'm pretty sure that Eden is talking about all the ways that people can be killed by animals.
Humans, yes. What a wonderful show that would be.
Wonderful.
I hope for that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, okay, let's do our shameless plug. So, Simon, what do you got going on this week? Anything new?
Yeah, I started doing videos again because I had the time, and I was so busy before Christmas, and also I've not been too good. So I pretty much stopped doing them, apart from the odd short, but I've started doing them again this week. I'm going to carry on that. So obviously, Mantis Garden, YouTube, that's it.
Yeah.
And also is just reading and going mad. But I would like to, if I can, drop in the fact that there's a show on the 11th, or is it the 10th of February? You'd have to have a quick look.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
In Sheffield, in the UK, and it is called the Great Ant Exhibition. And it's not just ants, it's all sorts of inverts, but ants it's put on by a company that deals in ants, so it's a great ant exhibition. And I'll have tables there. So
Awesome.
if you want to buy mantis or whatever else I'm going to take with me, I don't know yet. I'll be there. And you can say hi and also buy stuff.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. How fun. You'll have to tell me all about it because I'm actually considering setting up a table at like an expo nearby me. Although I probably won't be selling anything because I don't have anything to sell. I'll just be educating.
Just as good, if not better.
Yes, promoting our show.
Just
got it.
That's even better, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
On YouTube rather than listen because it looks embarrassing when you go on YouTube. There's not many people watch on YouTube, but people listen. And
Oh yeah. Yeah, people are listening all over the world. We even have a listener in Jakarta, so that's really, really cool. Shout out to Jakarta, dude. Thanks for listening. Like our podcast is doing pretty well, for sure.
I can't even say hi, so I
won't. Yeah. Okay. So for my shameless plug, I had a short that I haven't been able to get the voiceover done for it, but I am going to get that done real soon. But it's going to be a short little video about how I clean my enclosures to reuse them. So when when I move a tarantula into a bigger enclosure or, like a mantis or whatever, then I clean the old one. So I made a little short to kind of show you how to do that. And then the second plug that I have is actually it's a local business. They're pretty small, but they make these cute little clay mushroom thingies. And they are called Mixed Up Creations. I love these guys. They've been around for close to 30 some odd years. And these necklaces are actually, a lot of them are black light active and they glow in the dark, which makes them really cute. And it's a small business, so you're definitely supporting local Colorado, Denver. So if you happen to be in the Denver area, just visiting, definitely check out Mixed Up Creations. They're on East Colfax. Just a cool little shop. They also have smoking paraphernalia, so there's some of that. So it's 21 and over. But you can definitely go in there. They've got cool T-shirts and, of course, like that necklace. I'm not sponsored by them. I just absolutely love them. I've loved their necklaces for a long time. So, and Lily says she loves that. They do also have an online store, and I'm pretty sure that they will ship internationally. I think. I'm going to have to get back to you guys on that one. I don't know. But check out their online store. I believe it's mixedupcreations.com. Yep, Mixed Up Creations, but it's spelled MYXED, so make sure you get that mixed up. But they're really cool. It's a great store, so you'll be supporting a good cause. And that's all I've got. Yeah, just stay tuned. Next week, what do you think? Should we do dragonflies, or what kind of topic are you thinking?
I'll be your determined for dragonflies.
I'm not letting the dragonflies go.
I'll do dragonflies.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Because you're not going to shut up about it until we do it, so.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm stuck on it.
Okay, dragonflies.
Yeah, it'll be a fun show, I'm sure. And it'll be fun. I'll do my usual research that I do. If I can find some folklore on dragonflies, I will also include that, like I usually do.
I made a video.
Yes, I know. I love your video. It was so beautiful, and I was so mad when we couldn't correspond. I was just okay, but we won't go there.
I'll keep sharing the video and annoying people with dragonflies until they're forced to watch.
Yes. Yes. But otherwise, so dragonflies next week. Look forward to that, and check out Mantis Garden, check out Tarantula. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. thank you to everybody who's listening. We'll see you next week.
See you later.